This week on NIntenDomain, hey, we watched the Switch presentation, and we're gonna fucking talk about it right here, because we're that kind of show.
Yeah, man, we fucking seen that Switch. Happy Switchmas, everybody.
Happy Switchmas. This is episode 52 of NIntenDomain. We are your hosts. I am Trey Johnson, and this is...
Jereme, Switch Reveal, Trailer, James Mikowski.
And I'm Trey, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 Johnson. That's a No Builders, or Trey No Builders Johnson, you could say. But, yeah, the Switch presentation happened today at 10 o'clock from 10 to 11. As a bonus, you can watch me watching it on YouTube, which I'm going to put up on there.
Hell yeah.
Which it'll probably be up before this podcast is up, actually. So you can watch that as a bonus, and I talk about that we're going to record this.
Are you editing the video into the frame, or do you just have to sync up the two videos?
There's probably not going to have any. It's basically me watching the video, just my face. And
so go to YouTube Doubler and put both up at the same time.
Oh, can you? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a site called YouTube Doubler. No, I'm just saying for the people listening, that's the best way to do it. I mean, everyone's seen the presentation by now, so.
Oh, because I recorded the audio of the presentation, but there's no video of the presentation. I was just going to put myself in there watching it. But you can hear what they're saying and all that because I did the loop through thing. But yeah, I was just going to show myself watching it because that's what people do. I mean, I watched Kevin Smith cry during The Flash, and I didn't see anything of The Flash. I just saw his face. So, people do that. Anyway, you can watch it, yeah, because he recorded himself watching The Flash. But yeah, we can do that. You can go to YouTube and watch that. But anyway, more important than that, there was a Switch presentation tonight, and they answered some things. A lot of those leaks, the supposed leaks, were not on there. They're either false or have not been revealed yet.
Yeah.
A couple of them, thankfully aren't on there. Thankfully there's some stuff that wasn't leaked at all, like ARMS and 1-2 Switch. Like who the fuck would have saw that coming, I guess?
No, who would have seen that coming? ARMS, man. That game actually looks pretty cool. Like I might want to check that out. Although it kind of looks like it'd be part of a bigger package, right?
Yeah, ARMS looks like it could be a fun game, but I don't know of it being its own thing. 1-2 Switch, I kind of expect it to be in a pack-in. It's gotta be a pack-in, right? Cause like, who's gonna pay for 1-2 Switch? Like, it's very much Wii Sports to me. Like, it feels a lot like Wii Sports. And, Wii Sports, came with the system, like, helped sell a lot of systems because of that. 1-2 Switch really should be included in the system.
Well, but did they say that? Yeah, so I don't remember if they said Wii Sports was included in the Wii announcement. But,
originally with the Wii? I don't think they did.
They didn't say shit about that in this presentation.
Well, all that they said was included was, which I made a comment on it on my reaction video, but because I was like, thank God there's a fucking plug in there, because I was afraid there might not be a plug. Of course, they took.
You have to buy an adapter separately.
If they took the plug out, then it'd probably be like $250, right? Then they make it the actual price. No, they showed the video with what comes in there, but it didn't say anything about a game yet. But I wouldn't discount it. They might still throw it in there because I feel like the Wii Sports thing was added like much later after they did all their stuff. And thankfully, we get fucking wrist straps included in there. Yay!
Oh wait, are those included?
Yeah, they're included. Did
you notice that
they come in the box? There's two
L buttons bigger.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have much order to this, but yeah, we saw that there's L and R buttons now on the Joy-Cons. Yeah, the Joy-Cons have HD rumble and like HD motion now, I guess. You can place a
tell how many ice cubes are in a cup.
Yeah. Yeah, I was drinking.
They were very specific about ice cubes in a cup.
I was drinking water while I was watching the presentation. I'm like, hey, look, Joy-Con.
Can you close your eyes and know how many cubes are in there?
Yeah. Yeah, Rumble's so good that you can tell how many cubes are in a glass. Yeah, I'm really hoping for a WarioWare / Mario Party game involving Joy-Cons. I'm sure it's going to happen. 1-2 Switch kind of looks like that, I guess. It's a weird idea. It's like, let's make a game where we don't need a TV, is basically what that is, I guess.
Right, it's going to
strange.
Store the score and everything on the TV screen, but they've got that in mind as like if you brought your Switch like Karen does to the rooftop party.
Yeah.
You can play these quick draw games and stuff.
Yeah, you guys can play the new versions of Hogan's Alley or whatever else is on there. Which is what I was thinking about there. But yeah, the quick draw game and some sort of sword fighting or dancing or that trailer was really weird. A lot of people in like they had their color matching outfits that they were wearing, color coded, dancing around, doing different stuff, pretending to sword fight each other. Or, shoot each other, whatever. 1-2 switch.
Yeah, I wonder how much feedback are you going to get through the controller itself? Like, is there something about the vibration? Because it seemed like when in the quick draw game, the person who lost their Joy-Con like shook really quickly, almost like you think of like laser tag.
Oh yeah, like you're getting hit. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't. That'd be something I'd expect from that, I guess, for it to shake like when you get killed.
But it does seem like the ice in the glass, even though it wasn't explained very well, I don't think was to say there's a lot of different things that could be done with that. I'd call it haptic feedback, right? They didn't call it that, but it's kind of what it is.
Is that what it's called? And is that like the sequel to force feedback? Haptic feedback? Well, you remember force feedback? That was like a big thing for PC joysticks and all that. I remember that being a thing in the 90s, like being like, oh yeah, it needs to. Does the Rumble Pack have this? And it's like, no, it doesn't. And I guess like some of the steering wheel controllers had that too. Had like the whole force feedback thing. Yeah. And haptic's kind of like that.
But it's feeding back in some way to like communicate something to you, not just as I don't know if I'm completely right on this definition, but it's interacting with you. The way you interact with it is influencing how the feedback is. And then you can use the feedback to like infer information, what's happening. Kind of think about like, I'm thinking of something like WarioWare Twisted. When you're twisting it, it kind of is like...
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, sure.
That's sort of what I'm trying to communicate right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I would like that because I like the way WarioWare Twisted does that, where it goes like... Or like
but the clickiness of it made it like where it felt more real even.
I thought it made it feel more precise. So maybe that's what they're going for. They're very much a mixture, a mashup, if you will, of like the Wii and the Wii U. I found it really funny, like at the beginning of the presentation when they're going through all the different consoles and they're like, we have a little bit of everything in there. You remember that? And they're like, the NES did this and like the Super Nintendo did this and the 64 did this, and they came to the GameCube and they're like, and the GameCube had a handle. And I'm like, where's the hand? I'm like, there's no handle on the Switch, man. I don't understand like how you incorporated this into it.
No, they just had to put the GameCube in there.
But that's another thing.
It really made me so excited that they were going to reveal some sort of GameCube VC, but they didn't really. No virtual console at all in there. Not a mention of it whatsoever. Nothing about a transfer. Nothing about anything being available. Like no mention at all of virtual console, which I guess I kind of thought they would. Big downer. They're going to charge for internet now. They kind of threw that in there real quick. Said they expand on it later. I guess a lot of people expected that. Hopefully, there's some sort of free game incentive along with it. Yeah, that's what PlayStation and Xbox are doing right now. You have to pay for that shit.
They do. Well, I mean, blame Xbox. They started it in the first one with Xbox Live and all that. They started before anybody else. But yeah, PlayStation 4 does it now. They didn't do it before, but
right.
I guess it's
Plus or whatever.
Yeah. So, well, PlayStation Plus was something you did before to get free games and discounts, but now it's also you have to have it to play online. So hopefully they're doing some sort of free game thing with it also. It'd be nice if they did some sort of Netflix streaming thing where you can play a whole lot of old games through it, but it didn't really entail what it is. Or what it's going to be. They're just like, where there'll be a service, there'll be an online service you have to pay for, which sucks.
Well, I was checking the Nintendo website about it, and it was like, they were very clear that it would not affect 3DS and Wii, the Wii U.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So, but what I thought was cool, and I don't know if you noticed it when you read it, but it said that you get one free game, either NES or SNES game a month for the subscription.
Oh, no, all I saw was what was on the presentation. They didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, you get one or the other, and the way they make it sound is that you get it for a month, so I think, when the month's over, you can keep it for another month if you want to keep playing it, or if you want to get a different game.
Or you can switch it out.
That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what I thought was cool, it was written that the SNES games would have online functionality.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see anything about that.
Online functionality to it. Meaning, newly added online play for SNES VC.
Okay, so
this says multiple things for me. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, so you could play like
Tetris Attack online with you.
Well, if they ever release that game, they still haven't released it on Virtual Console, unfortunately.
But you know what I mean, something like that. But it also makes
but you could also do like Super Mario World or like Street Fighter, which there was a little bit of Street Fighter on there for a second in the sizzle reel. Yeah, that's cool.
There's a launch Street Fighter 2 game.
Is there? Yeah, they added there were a lot of like
Street Fighter 2 Ultra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there were a lot of videos that were added after the presentation. I tried to find as many as I could on YouTube, but I must have missed the Street Fighter one. But I found like the Puyo Pop meets Tetris video that was on there that they showed for a second, and there was the Bomberman R, or Super Bomberman R. I found that on there too. A couple other games. There's like an indie game that's on there, and there's like a sequel to, what's that game? Binding of Isaac. Isn't there a sequel to that? Binding of Isaac Afterbirth? I saw a video for that also.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw there's of course, a Minecraft port already mentioned, which is good.
Well, it was in the sizzle reel. They showed it in the presentation.
Oh, they did? I didn't see that.
Yeah, they showed it like in a couple of those sizzle reels where they're showing different parts of games.
Oh, okay.
They showed the guys, the big blocky guys, like with the swords. They showed like 4 of them standing next to each other with their swords out, and it showed them like taking down a wall or whatever, you know, like you do, like chopping down a wall and like blocks coming out. Like the kind of shit that you do in Minecraft. I saw that in there. I was like, oh, well, there's Minecraft. So
I actually need to go back and watch the reveal thing again because I watched the whole thing, but I was working during part of it.
Yeah. So
I kept looking away.
Cause they kept showing parts of Mario Kart, like in the sizzle reels, but they didn't mention anything about it during the presentation. Okay. But then later they released a video on Nintendo's YouTube saying Mario Kart Deluxe, showing like the battle, showing that there's a battle mode thing, showing that there's some new items added. So
the battle mode looks really cool in that video.
Yeah, battle mode
be all over the place.
Yeah, battle mode looks better. There's like they brought back the feather item. You have the ghost item, like Boo, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr., Splatoon characters are all in there now. There's a Splatoon,
fully orchestrated SNES music. It sounded really cool.
There's a Splatoon level also in there with paint all over the place, and there's like apparently it's 4 different Splatoon characters. Which, speaking of which, Splatoon 2, that's cool. It's not an update. Yeah, I really wish that they would have done that in the name, but they didn't. But it was really funny that the presentation dude kept trying to form a 2. Didn't you see that? Where he kept like arching his hands over, and he's like, Splatoon 2, and then he'd kind of squint his legs together and like push his arms over to try to look like a 2.
I had no idea. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Like, cause he had those little,
he was just posturing.
He had those 2 little guns, the 2 little new guns that they have. There's like a rocket launcher in there too. There's a jetpack, which is awesome. A paint jetpack.
Oh, that's right. The guy presented himself as a scientist. He wasn't.
Yeah, he came out wearing the white lab coat, which is what, if you remember the original Splatoon demo, like the one that was timed and all that, if you played, there were makers who were playing on the game, and if you played them, they were wearing those white coats. They were wearing those white lab coats. So that's kind of what they were referencing, I guess. So he comes out wearing the white lab coat. He's got 2 of the guns, 2 of the squirting guns, but he keeps like posing like a 2 for Splatoon, so whatever. But it looks cool. I mean, there's some new levels on there. There's some new moves, like there's some new dodges. They found a way to replace the touchscreen ability on there, which is interesting. I guess you hold a button. I don't remember which button. I think you hold something on the analog or the digital pad, and a map shows up on the screen, and you hit a button to send you to whichever teammate you want to go to. So it's sort of like Madden a little bit, if you remember that. Like you hold a button and it's like hit a button to throw a pass to whoever. And that's kind of how it works. In the original game, there's a map on your controller, and you can just tap on any of your teammates at any time, and you'll blast to their location to try to help them out. So in order for them to continue that on with you not being able to use a touchscreen, while you're playing it on the TV, they changed that where you hold a button and hit another button. But they very quickly said that there was a touchscreen on there. Did you catch that? That was real
I
quick.
Did.
Yeah.
They said that.
Said it was capacitive.
Yeah. But they didn't say why. And they didn't show the UI at all.
And
there was no UI shown.
Yeah, and they said that I know that it interacts with your phone because I watched a video on the Nintendo YouTube channel of showing the parental codes, and it's like an animation with like Bowser and Bowser Jr. I don't know if you saw that, but it's showing like how you can set a limit on your phone, like to how long your kids will play the Switch. So you can be like, oh, tonight you get to pay for 2 hours, and it'll have a little thing that comes up on the TV that says like it's 2 hours, it's time for you to quit. But if they don't quit, it'll tell you on your phone, like, oh, they're still playing for an hour. And then,
I didn't see that.
And there's like the option for you to like make the system shut off at a certain time. Which
oh my gosh.
Kind of diabolical, but you can do it, yeah.
Yeah, so that the parental control thing is its own app.
It's an app it's an app for a smartphone that you would use. Yeah. But there's an option that you can click on there to say like suspend game at this certain time, and it'll just turn off. But it'll tell you if they like play past the time that you tell them to play or whatever. So yeah, stuff like that. And it's funny because it's like, you know, they're like, well, maybe you shouldn't do this because this would be really mean, because it shows him like about to cross the finish line on Mario Kart, and then then the system dies, and he's like, what the fuck? So they're like, well, you shouldn't do that, but maybe you might have to if your kids suck this much. But yeah, that's an interesting app. If your kid
deserves to have his Switch turned off, turn that fucking thing off.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids deserve that to happen to them.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was actually telling me about when her brothers would piss her off. She would unplug the Nintendo.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was probably
they wouldn't let her play Mario Kart, so she'd like walk up while they're playing and unplug it.
Stand in front of the TV. Oh yeah, or
just unplug it. Yeah.
Yeah, or unplug the controllers. Yeah, well, you could do that too. Stand in front of the TV, or unplug the controllers, or unplug the system. The worst thing that would be to do is delete memory cards. And now, in that day and age, that's a threat that you could use for your kids. Deleting your memory card, or just, you know, or deleting hard drives now, I guess, since they're not really memory cards anymore.
You have to back up the memory card somewhere.
Yeah.
There was I got on Nintendo's site, and they've got a whole Switch section now.
Yeah.
So I went at the online shit and stuff, but then I looked at so it's saying like the voice chat and all that's going to have is going to be through a smartphone app as well.
Oh, it has voice chat? Yeah, see, I didn't see any of this stuff. I just watched
that's going to be done through your smartphone. They're already saying like you're not going to use it through the Switch, you're going to use your device or a tablet.
Okay, so you like plug
use that as your voice chat, and like how you set up your matches and everything.
Okay, so you can basically use like a Bluetooth headset thing that you already use for your phone and just talk through that. Like that's cool. I mean, isn't that pretty much the same way people do it anyway? They just call it Skype on their phone, except now it's an app that like has to do with it, or a separate app. Yeah, it's still kind of the same thing.
Another thing that did not mention in the presentation was when they showed off the share button. Once again, we're all over the place here.
Yeah, the share button.
They said that eventually you'd be able to do video.
It said video later,
Initially screenshots. But he said you can share it on social media. He did not mention Miiverse. Miiverse was not mentioned at all.
That's true. He did not mention Miiverse.
So are they getting rid of Miiverse and just like saying, fuck it, let's just put what we already have on existing social media?
Maybe.
Or is there going to be something new they haven't announced yet?
Well, I mean, I guess, I figured it'd be like Twitch or YouTube or something, right, that you would put on there if you're capturing stuff.
So maybe they're just interfacing with all that and getting rid of their proprietary social network that they have. Yeah. Which would make me sad. I was hoping for an improved Miiverse.
Well, I mean, they only had so much time to cover, and maybe they didn't want to cover everything. Because there was like there was a lot of stuff that was kind of like, maybe a lot of it's not ready yet, I guess, to show. But, they claimed that they had 80 games in development for it at one point.
The stuff with the developers seemed pretty like, they didn't have much to show.
Yeah, like No More Heroes 3, if that's what that is, like the grasshopper dude. It's like, hey,
That was the most awkward of all.
That was the weirdest thing ever. And they didn't even show it.
The translator didn't know what to say either.
Yeah, all they showed was a picture of Travis Touchdown. And he's basically standing there like, I hope that I can make a game for this sometime. Like something like that. It's like, okay.
He's like, you might remember a character, Travis Touchdown. He's back.
Yeah.
And then they show him, and then it's like, it's based on pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, and because I saw him talk about Travis Touchdown, I'm like, oh, cool. Like I really like the No More Heroes games.
You thought it was like No More Heroes 3?
Yeah.
Right? Is there 3 already?
There's two of them already. So I was like, oh, cool, No More Heroes 3. And then he starts talking about pro wrestling, and I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, but there were like pro wrestling moves in No More Heroes, so I don't know. You could do suplexes and like power bombs and stuff like that in the game, so I have no idea what's going on with that. Hopefully they bring his fucking cat back, because that was really cool. His cat that you can make do like sit-ups and stuff. Should keep that in the game.
But all the developers were fairly, I don't know, fine, except for him. He was super awkward. I don't know if that was the translator's fault.
Well, I mean, they're weird. They're weird anyway. Grasshopper's kind of a strange company.
Right, so maybe that's just how he is. It was funny.
I don't know.
It made me laugh.
Yeah. He's like, hey! And he did that
a little bit of cringe comedy.
So we haven't. Do you want to jump into like the two big ones that I'm super excited about on there?
Big what?
Two big games that they showed. We haven't talked. We haven't talked about Super Mario Odyssey, and we haven't talked about XenoBlade Chronicles 2 yet. Those are both games that I'm like super fucking pumped about. Like, I'm very excited. I think
there's a Mario game. Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
I've never.
I was gonna. You're fucking with me. Right?
I've watched that trailer like 6 times.
I was like, yeah. Did you miss like the most important part in there? I don't know if you remember when I was in Lincoln. Like, I think I showed it to you. Like, Phil and I made like this fake trailer called Excited 4. Do you remember that trailer?
I remember it. I don't.
It's just us like talking about dumb stuff, but trying to make it sound like exciting. And there's a part where it's like Excited 4, and this time with more hats. That's pretty much what I thought of when I was seeing like the new Mario game. It's like Mario Odyssey, and this time with more hats, because he has like the hat that has eyes on it and like has its own. It's like its own thing, you know. It's like
kind of like it's
completely sentient. Well, yeah, and like Flood, sort of, you know, or like the star thing that he carries around with him in like Mario Galaxy. But it's like that one has more hats. Splatoon has more hats. It's like
everybody's
like everything with new hats.
Mario and Link always have some sort of sentient thing that follows it around. So this time they chose Mario's hat. Link's had it with the hat in Minish Cap.
Yeah,
the
Minish
but he also had the sword, the living sword.
Yeah, and the Skyward.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, the sword's alive. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a playable character in Hyrule Warriors, so I'm pretty sure that
I guess
they
Mario had Flood. That was his only, like, co-character. Well, no, that's not true. In Galaxy, he has that star.
Yeah, that's what I said. He had the star bit that was with him.
Star bit, good.
Yeah, the little, I forget what they call those. The little nubbin or whatever it is.
Starmies, I think.
Starmies?
So,
yeah, maybe.
That might be a Pokemon, now that I think about it.
Starmie? No, yeah, Starmie is a Pokemon. There's Starmie and Staryu, or Staryu and Starmie. Yeah, I forget what they're called. Rosalina has them. She uses them to fight in Smash Brothers. Lumas, yeah. Not to be confused with the Lums from Rayman. Which is something I forgot about last week, is you can actually buy Rayman Advance on the eShop for DSi, for your 3DS, which is pretty cool. You can buy that, and you can buy Earthworm Jim, also a better version of it, for $5 on there as well. But
that was from DSi?
Yeah, it's a DSi game, but you can buy it on the eShop for the 3DS. You can buy Rayman Advance. Yeah, his hat has eyes now, and he can jump on it. He can throw it out and jump on it. But there's like a lion that you ride around in. Like, the levels look awesome. Like, you can climb buildings now. You can play jump rope with normal looking people in some city. It was like
I believe at some point, I don't know how many episodes ago, but I was theorizing there's going to be a hub world in the newest Mario.
Yeah.
I was right.
Well, they said,
definitely looks
they said it's a sandbox game now, which is pretty cool. They said that in the presentation, the Mario sandbox.
Yep.
But yeah,
they definitely said it was a sandbox.
Yeah, and you saw the level that Karen played. Saw some more of that. There was I mentioned it in one of our episodes. I saw it in a video, somebody saying that there's a place called Crazy Hat, and there is Crazy Hat in there, is the store. Like, you see it in the side, whatever.
You see it in a few different shots. It's not just in that one place. So I think you're going to be visiting that in all the different, like, I don't know if they're universes or parts of the world. It definitely feels like Mario Galaxy meets other things. As far as, like, the different worlds you go to are thematic and everything.
He's in a ship at one point, too, that, like, flies him from one place to another, so I can see that in there.
The
but
ship
yeah, it looks
seems important. I noticed that city area he was in that looked like New York City. Everywhere I looked, it said New Donk City. Like, that said
New Donk City.
Shots.
Yeah, that's the first thing it showed is New Donk City. Like, when it's coming in on the trailer, I'm like, okay.
And then it said like Diddy's Bakery or something like that. Oh, Diddy Mart. So there's like other stuff listed in that says like references the Kong Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
The city.
Cool.
So I don't know if that means, like, my thought was, is there going to be a giant Donkey Kong climbing, like, a building there. So it's supposed to be like Donkey Kong. Because like all the people look like they're wearing like old school clothes too. Like they're all wearing hats and
like from the 30s, like the old
and all the cars look old. Yeah. So I don't know
old cake.
If it's like DK. A world based on like DK being King Kong. That was a theory
I don't know.
I had.
That's a good theory. I like that theory. I hope that's what they end up going with. And Bowser's getting married now to Peach, I guess. He's got his giant top hat and
he looks like the villain in Super Paper Mario.
Oh yeah. Yeah, kind of.
He looks a lot
he has like the monocle, I guess. Does he have a monocle?
The top hat and the like glitzy white robe thing. No, I don't think he had a monocle.
Oh, I thought he had some sort of thing on his eye in that one. I know he looks super stylized, but
yeah, Bowser's trying to marry Peach. Seems to be the theme.
Yeah, trying to get married, and she has a tiara, and he crushes Mario's hat at one point. But there's some really cool looking levels. There's like a forest. There's like they show the water. They show water level stuff that looks really nice.
Yeah, the water levels look really good.
There's like the sand. There's a sand level with the lion that you're riding around on that kind of looks like an Egyptian lion. Like almost kind of looks like what you'd see on the front cover of like Mario Land.
Yeah, he does kind of look like
one. I think like yeah, there's like a lion on the front of that. But yeah, it looks amazing. There were like rumors that it was going to be a launch title, which you said last week doesn't really make sense, and you're right, it doesn't make sense. But I think I kind of just hoped that it was going to be a launch title, just because it looks so cool.
While I was playing, I just kept going, like I was talking to it. I was like, Holiday 2017, Holiday 2017.
But that's a great Christmas game for next year. So our Christmas will not be as cold and lonely as it was this year. With all we had with the NES.
Right, we got the NES Classic Edition. It was much worse for other people.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah. And speaking of which, we both were able to reserve Switches at BestBuy.com, which I didn't even know they were up yet.
Right.
You got one, I got one.
I'm kind of scared because I've heard horror stories of people not getting their stuff from Best Buy. They'll get their money back, but they just won't get it. All the way back to like the Majora's Mask.
The 3DS? Yeah. I really hope that doesn't happen, because that would suck. Because are you planning on trying to go to GameStop too to secure a second one, or no?
Oh, is that what you're doing?
No, I mean, well, I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, now that you're saying that, I'm like, well, maybe we should go try to get a second. I wasn't planning on it because I was like, oh, cool, I have one now. I don't have to get up at 8 and like wait in the cold for like 2 hours.
I hope Best Buy doesn't fuck this up, but it does seem like a lot of people got through and got their pre-orders, but I've been charged. I have the receipt and everything. Like I've got.
Yeah, they charge you for the entire thing, and we were both trying. Like Jess and I were both trying to do it on our phones, and like some locations were showing up on my phone and some were showing up on hers, but they're like different locations. So we thought maybe there was a limited number at each one, and maybe they actually had
you're wanting to go to the store and pick it up.
Yeah,
I had mine shipped. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were doing the store pickup. And and it's like someone like 10 miles away from here that we have to go there and get it. Cause like all the other ones that said they didn't have them is weird. Yeah. I really hope that it works. It would suck that it doesn't, like it's on all that effort and you don't get one.
We'll find out pretty quick.
I went to GameStop and talked to the guys there, and they said that they were going to get like 38 of them. Like they're going to be able to reserve like 38 tomorrow, so that's more than like the 5 that they had of the NES Classic. So maybe they have those numbers for Best Buy. Hopefully, hopefully they're not just yanking our chain or whatever, and they're actually going to get these. I don't know. I mean, I guess
we're going to be okay. I have a good feeling that we're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well,
we also got them in.
You're correct.
I mean, we got them in probably within minutes of them going up.
Well, if you go back and check and they're gone now on Best Buy, then I think that would be a way to reassure yourself that they're not just like pre-ordering ones that they're not going to get. Like if it's still like
Walmart.com, Walmart.com sold out, and then later on they went back up again, which is weirding some people out. I'm just going by what I read on the NVC Facebook group, because Walmart went down and then it came back up again, like where you could get the pre-orders.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at any of the NVC stuff, just because I was trying to keep myself fresh, and I'm tired of seeing rumors and stuff on there about all these things. Thank God that fucking Rabbids RPG game wasn't on there. The one that they kept saying was a real thing, like this Ubisoft Raving Rabbids game, which maybe it is a thing still, but it wasn't in the presentation, so F that.
Man, I was really hoping for that Rabbids RPG.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, thankfully that's not on there. But what was on there, the great RPG, is XenoBlade Chronicles 2. Not XenoBlade Chronicles X2,
right?
But XenoBlade 2.
So is it a direct sequel to the other one?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of a direct sequel to the Wii one, but it's like has a completely different art style, and everything's like super cutesy, cartoony,
anime looking, yeah.
Yeah, which is okay. It looks a lot different than the Wii one did. But it looks beautiful, like everything. And I noticed that there were some fixed camera angles in the towns when you walk around. I don't know if you noticed that. There was some top-down stuff of them like walking across different bridges and stuff. So, but yeah, it looks very cool. They do the part with where he stands like in the grass and there's the sword in the grass, which is like the opening title sequence of XenoBlade Chronicles 1. Yeah, I'm excited that there's another Monolith game like right there, and it's not a remake of the other ones. I mean, I love XenoBlade Chronicles X, and now I definitely have to finish that one. And I definitely should play XenoBlade Chronicles 1. Well, I mean, I've played it, but I should finish it. I have it on 3DS. And
so lots to get done.
We gotta get those done. I gotta get through Tokyo Mirage Sessions also. Which there was a weird Shin Megami Tensei teaser in there.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
It was a 25-year sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like it showed some rose petals, and there were guys like standing in this empty warehouse area. It has like Unreal Engine. There's like light coming in from the outside. There's a dude he has like a metal bodysuit on with like a marble belly button thing.
He almost kind of looked like Samus a little bit.
I thought it was like F-Zero for a second. I was like, what? But it didn't. But no, it wasn't that. Because F-Zero, they have those weird outfits that they wear. He kind of almost looks sort of like Blue Falcon. There was a F-Zero type game on there that's made by the same guys who made the one on Wii U, which I can't remember the name of it. It had a weird name, but the other features, like there was a game on there that looked a lot like the Fast Racing Neo game. It's not called Fast Racing Neo 2 though. It had a different name. But some of the cars in there kind of look like pod racing cars. They have like their engines like outside of the cars, but it's another futuristic racer. There's like a video that was added after on there, which looks pretty cool. There's that Sonic Mania video that they added after the presentation. I guess it's a sort of a remake of the original Sonic stuff with some added like areas and like, you can play as Tails and Big the Cat or some shit like that. I don't think you can play as Big the Cat, but they added some extra.
No, you can just be Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. That's it.
Oh, okay. There's no Big the Cat or Amy the annoying.
No, that's far unless that's DLC later.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. They did list Tails as Miles Tails.
Miles Tails, yeah.
And it's just those three. But it looks fucking cool, man. It's classic Sonic. It's like a remix of Sonic. So that's what I was thinking of. That was the 25-year. It's like a 25-year Sonic thing, but it's not just for the Switch. Looks like it's coming out for everything.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but I mean, it's on there. It's just another game. So there's the weird Shin Megami Tensei thing, which I thought was F-Zero, which it isn't. There's a lot of, they have the Fire Emblem Warriors, which is basically another Hyrule Warriors, which is kind of a weird thing that I don't know if anybody really wanted, but it's on there.
I guess I didn't watch that. So it's a Fire Emblem Warriors instead of like Hyrule or...
Yeah, they showed the XenoBlade Chronicles thing, and then they show like these marbles like floating around that have like different swords in them, and then you kind of hear a little bit of Fire Emblem music in the background. These like 5 different marbles like go into a shield, and
I thought that was Fire Emblem.
Yeah, and then they start playing Fire Emblem, and then it shows like the sword. It shows like that sword that like Marth and Lucina and all that had, and somebody grabs it, and that's all you see of the video. But then after that, when the guy talks, he's like, oh yeah, we're Fire Emblem Warriors, basically Hyrule Warriors with Fire Emblem characters. So they have that. I remember people had talked about that maybe being a thing, like there was like some rumors about it, or people said that it makes sense to make like it in a world where you use all the Fire Emblem guys. So that's in there. I mean, I'm not super excited about that, but there's always a Dynasty Warriors for every system, right? So we have that. And speaking of that, they were showing all the Dragon Quest stuff. They're like, we got Dragon Quest X in Japan, not in America yet. But we got Dragon Quest XI. And I was like, and we got another one coming. And I'm like, oh yes, Dragon Quest Builders. But no, it's, Dragon Quest Warriors 1 and 2. Or Dragon Quest Heroes is what it's called. But it's the same thing. Like where it's, Hyrule Warriors, but with Dragon Quest characters. So that was kind of a bummer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my god, I didn't even notice that.
yeah, no, it's on there. So like, and it's a port of there's a PlayStation 4 Dragon Quest Heroes game. So it's basically that. It's a port of that you're having on there. But it's both of them. It's 1 and 2 and 1. So hey, there you go. You get to play both of those. So it's like, oh yeah, all the Dynasty Warriors that you want. You have 3 games here that are coming out for Switch. Yay. It's, yeah, there's a lot of things that they went through, but a lot of things they didn't go through too. Like I said, like no virtual console mention. Not really. I guess they said that Skyrim was real.
That was confirmed by the dude from Bethesda.
The Bethesda guy came out and talked about that. EA said FIFA is coming out. I mean, I don't care, but some people do, I guess. When he said
most popular sport in the world.
Yeah, when he said the most popular sport in the world, I was like, Madden? Like, no, FIFA. But I was really like, most popular sport, Pocket Card Jockey 2? That would be awesome if they put that.
Which is on sale this week, by the way.
Yeah, and if you don't have that game, fucking get that game. That game's really good. And
it's like $2.
I'm speaking to you, the viewers, and I'm speaking to you, Jeremy, because I don't think you have it.
I still don't have it.
But you should get that game. That game is a lot of fun. I listened to a podcast called Axe of the Blood God. It's like involved with like the Retronaut guys and all that. But one of the hosts, she put that down as her number 5 best RPG of last year. It's a Pocket Card Jockey, and her number 1 best sports game of the year, Pocket Card Jockey. So you should get it. It's a lot of fun. It was already cheap when it came out. It was already like $7 or $6. Now
it's like $5
now. It's like $4 or $5. It's totally worth it. Like you'll play it a lot. Like it's super addictive. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you'll learn some shit about horse racing. It's a cool game. It's fun. I played it a lot, and I'll probably play it some more. Yeah. What else do we have? I already talked about Puyo, right? About the Puyo.
So we're sort of talking. Are we talking about the presentation, or are we just talking about everything? Because like, there's a lot of information. Like, I mentioned earlier. There was a Street Fighter 2 Ultra.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Fucking sweet. I wrote that down. It's on Nintendo's website. How fucking cool to at any point be like, let's play some Street Fighter, and like you can use the 2 Joy-Cons to 2-player up some like classic Street Fighter 2, and it's like you've got the option to see it in the classic graphical style, or you can do this new like it's still sprites,
3D
like
type
high
thing,
definition, like not 3D, but just like like high quality sprites that look like anime,
like the Street Fighter 2 HD edition that was on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can just change your art style, and
it
looks like there's a huge roster of characters. But how fucking cool that you can actually take your like one portable thing and play a 2-player game like that. Like anybody, you could be like, "Hey, have you ever played Street Fighter 2? Let's fucking play Street Fighter 2," and you can just do it right.
Did we mention that the Joy-Cons have L and R buttons on them now? Right on the.
I don't think we did.
Well, we talked about. I think we talked about the wrist straps, but yeah, they have L and R buttons on them now, so that's cool. They can also.
And the wrist straps make those bigger.
Yeah, they do, and there's also you could play games of rock paper scissors with it because it can recognize what shape your hand is in. Did you see that?
Yeah, it sounds like there's a pretty impressive amount of technology in the
there's a camera
Joy-Cons.
Yeah, there's a camera in there, so they could easily do the pointer stuff like I was saying, like for Wii and all that.
Right, it doesn't need a sensor bar anymore because it can recognize things because it is a camera.
Yeah, it can recognize things in front of it. And like the
which essentially the Wii U, the original Wii is a camera too, but it's just an infrared camera.
It is, yeah. Well, and the Motion Plus, you could move it around without the sensor bar. Like the game that you didn't like, Skyward Sword, you can play that game without a sensor bar just because of the Motion Plus. Like you don't have to point at the TV; it knows where it's at, because of the enhancement.
I don't hate it.
Well, you just didn't play it or didn't finish it.
It's my least favorite 3D Zelda, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than you did, but I haven't played it again though. I only played it once, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought about returning to it. Maybe when it gets closer to the Breath of the Wild releasing, which we finally got a day for it. It is coming out the day of...
it's a fucking launch title!
It's a launch title. So what I'm thinking is like, so the only things I know that are launch titles right now are what? Like Zelda and 1-2 Switch?
I've got them written down.
Because I'm thinking like...
1-2 Switch, Breath of the Wild, Just Dance 2017, Has Been Heroes, Snipper Clips, Super Bomberman R, Disc GF5 complete, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Rayman Legends,
Disgaea?
Skylanders, and I Am Setsuna, that game from PS4.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like Chrono Trigger.
What did you think of that game that had the crazy name? Like what is it called? The one that looked like it was made out of cardboard. It's like a square game. It's like an RPG.
Oh, the new... Did they even give a name for it? It was just a new RPG from Square.
No, they did. It had the weirdest name ever. Project Octopath Traveler is what it's called. But it looks amazing. It looks like it's made out of cardboard. It's all like 2D. It kind of looks like Paper Mario, but like nicer, you know. And you just see a character walking around, but it has like dimension to it. But it looks like it's a diorama type thing that's made out of it. It's super cool looking. I thought that game looked really nice. Yeah, it's very stylized. A lot of Japanese developed like RPG type stuff in the presentation that I was super happy about. Yeah, that's like I said, that's mostly what I took my notes for this was the presentation. But I know they said that there's going to be more stuff on the website and all that. I went ahead and just because we reserved the Switch on Best Buy's website, I went ahead and reserved Breath of the Wild Wii U on the Best Buy website because you can do that. Because I'm still determined to get the Wii U version, just because I said I would, and I'm still going to get it. But
I'm getting the Switch version.
Yeah,
I've already decided.
Yeah, but I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, out of all the games that I know of that are coming out for the Switch, like on day one, what am I going to play? I guess I'm gonna play I Am Setsuna. That's what I'll play. Because it's like I'm gonna get Zelda for Wii U on that day, which hopefully it comes out on that day and they don't bone everybody again and release it later. If they release it later, I'll probably end up getting both of them or something stupid like that. But it's
they won't release it later.
Yeah.
It's definitely, they're using it to sell Switches.
No, I mean I'm talking about the Wii U one, not the Switch one.
Oh, you think the Wii U one might come out later?
Yeah, well that's what they did for GameCube. They released the Wii one before the GameCube one because they were dicks and they wanted to make sure that you got a Wii instead of just getting the GameCube one, you know. If you look at like Best Buy, it doesn't say that there's a release date for the Wii U one still. It just says, you know, well it doesn't have the Switch one on there. But I mean, they didn't say for the Wii U, it said specifically Switch, so they might release the other one later. They'd be a dick about it to make sure that everybody gets the Switch one.
It's definitely going to be a rare game, probably like Twilight Princess is sort of rare on GameCube.
Oh yeah, no, it is rare. Yeah, I mean,
this may be more rare than that because of the very, very low install base of the Wii U.
Sure. Well, I reserved it on Wii U. I'm still sticking to my guns, and I'm going to get it on Wii U instead of Switch, but. Yeah, like I'm saying, like what else? I don't know what else I'm gonna play when it comes out. Other than that, I have to play something because we got it. But well, hopefully if it goes through. Yeah, I mean, if Skyrim's on there, I'm not gonna play that game because I don't like those games. So I'm hoping that there's some other shit, maybe Splatoon 2 or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or something like that. Will be what I'll play on there if they end up being launch titles. But yeah, I was expecting a lot more from the presentation. Like I wanted a whole list of launch games, which I guess you found one, but I wanted a more robust one. I mean, I feel like most of the things that were on there.
The launch titles are not impressive. Yeah, you're right.
They're not impressive. Well, there's not really a whole lot of third-party support at all on this. I know they said they were going to do that, but we have Skyrim and FIFA. But like, what about?
There's a lot of third-party support.
I mean, but there's not. I mean, there's a lot of like small indie stuff that they already got, but I mean, there's not anything that makes this look any different from like the Wii U launch. I mean, I think the Wii U had more third-party support than this does as of right now.
Snipper Clips is its own game, but I don't know if it's a first-party.
Yeah.
Did you see that one? That one looks fucking cool.
No, I didn't see Snipper Clips.
It's another paper game, but it's a 2-player puzzle game where you actually like cut out parts of the environment like paper because you're made out of paper.
Yeah, but
you cut parts of each other off to make yourselves fit together or to like fit with different objects in the environment.
Yeah, but that's an indie game. I mean, it sounds like an indie game. I'm talking about like AAA big titles. Like where's a Call of Duty game or like where's a Assassin's Creed? Like all the shit that was on the Wii U from the beginning is not on here yet. Like the only two big games that are third party that I've seen is I guess if you count like Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, there'd be 3, but it's like it's just like FIFA and Skyrim. Wii U had like Batman, Wii U had Call of Duty, like Wii U had Assassin's Creed, like Wii U had Mass Effect, like Need for Speed, like all these different games that were already out were getting ported to that at the beginning, and I didn't see any of that, is what I'm saying, from this presentation.
I guess we also know that we could see shit in these presentations and just, we don't actually get to play it for like 3 years in the past, you know, like, Who knows if Mario is actually going to come out this holiday season or it's going to be like 2 years from now.
Oh, I hope it's not like 2 years from now. That would suck.
But they were saying there are, over 80 titles in development?
Yeah, that's what they said. I'm just afraid that a lot of them are like indie games and first party stuff. You know, I'm just
maybe once this cycle of pre-orders like happens, they're going to have a number really quick of how many pre-orders.
Yeah,
and that's going to make people want to port shit over.
Yeah,
if there's like already an install base guaranteed.
Sure, I just think I think there should be games, games that are on the horizon, like Persona 5 is on Xbox One and PS4. Like, why can't it be on the Switch? That's what I'm saying. Like, why isn't there a Final Fantasy 15 version on there? Like, why, you know what I mean? It's like this, I just don't understand. Like,
Square is showing support, but they're not showing that level of support.
Yeah, they're showing Dragon Quest support, which they already did, but there's no footage of Dragon Quest 11. Like, is it gonna look as good as the PS4 stuff which they've shown? Or is it gonna look like the 3DS version? Maybe
it's safe to assume it's gonna take some conversion to make Final Fantasy 15 work because it's a lower quality or lower power hardware.
Yeah,
most likely. I mean, it's definitely lower power hardware than the PS4.
Yeah, nobody really talked to. There was no talk about that. They didn't talk about
those specs.
Those specs, which I figured that they would release on a website somewhere eventually. But yeah, I figured it's probably a little bit lower. Even though Mario and Super Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 both looked like a lot better than Wii U games did, but it's still I don't know. It would be nice. It would have been really nice to see something on there that's out for other systems, to be like, oh hey, it's powerful enough to do this. You know what I mean? And I was kind of bummed that I didn't see anything like that. Like Dragon Quest Builders. Dragon Quest Builders is on Vita. You can totally put that on, you could put that on Wii U if you wanted. But, you could totally put it on the Switch. I wasn't really convinced on the third party support this time around. Kind of seemed like a lot of the same stuff with just some new, Wii U got a lot of third party support through indie developers, and I see that on this too. But all I really see is EA and Bethesda that's different from what they've already had. So, I don't know.
Doesn't it look pretty obvious though that they've been putting all their power into developing for the Switch, and that's why the Wii U just hasn't had shit?
Well, yeah, that was pretty obvious. Even though was F-Zero X came out today on Virtual Console, so yay, I got that.
That's a 64 game, right?
Yeah, 64 with the discount on there. Since everybody's been complaining, they've got the discount on there. So it's $2. I got it already and played a race before the presentation started. But yeah, now that we've gotten past this part of showing more stuff, then maybe we'll see. Maybe they'll add some more. Maybe we'll hear. Maybe they'll just keep trickling out information. I know there's a Treehouse thing all day tomorrow where they're talking about games, where they're going to cover some of the games. So I wonder what they're going to play on that.
You did notice there was no live gameplay in the presentation, which is
just
probably
trailers.
why they're specifically having the Treehouse thing. So that was an event where people were going to be playing games and stuff there too. According to what Kimishima was saying, he was Mario. I think when he was talking about Mario, he was since this game isn't coming out until the holiday, we don't have a playable version for you today.
Yeah, but he said it'll be in the
So
future.
Everyone that's at the show must be able to play kiosks and stuff.
Well, probably not now. I don't expect now. I figured it'd be an E3 thing or another thing like that in the future.
Well, it's out before E3.
No, not Mario. Mario's coming out in Christmas.
I just meant playing the Switch in general.
Oh, sure. I thought you were talking about Super Mario Odyssey. I'm like, nobody's going to play that yet.
Yeah, we'll get more info about that at E3, hopefully. Or just a trailer. Another trailer.
No, it'll be playable. If it's coming out this holiday, it'll be playable for sure, I would think. What do you think they're going to play in the Treehouse? They're going to play Zelda, but they've already played Zelda. So, what is it going to be? 1-2 Switch, probably? Or ARMS? Yeah. Maybe some Skyrim, hopefully. I don't know.
What about Splatoon?
Splatoon 2, I guess they could play that. Because that seemed pretty done, or more. Maybe Mario Kart Deluxe. I'm just curious about what games they're going to get into, because there were so many of them that were just little snippets that they don't have gameplay footage down, just little teasers. But I don't know.
I think we'll see some of that Super Clips game for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's being marketed as a 2-player. Same with, the Puyo Tetris.
Puyo Tetris, yeah.
Looks really interesting. I think that looks really interesting.
Bomberman.
As far as the online stuff goes, it's free for a little while, but once the fall drops, when they drop the apps with the voice chat and everything in the fall, that's when you have to start paying for it.
Oh, okay. So they'll lay the hammer down after that.
And you use your My Nintendo account name is going to be your handle for the Switch as well.
Yeah, I figured they'd bring that in there. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything that we've forgotten here.
I'm really excited about the online Super Nintendo. That could be really, really cool.
Yeah. Is there anything that we've forgotten? Like, are there other games that you've seen outside of the presentation? Because I feel like we've covered most of not everything in the presentation that I saw.
Yeah, I'm just looking and seeing what I wrote here.
Oh, you can scan your amiibos on the Joy-Con without even touching it now. And you saw like a Link amiibo. They showed that for a second. Like a new Breath of the Wild Link amiibo. Looked kind of rubbery, but it was an early version of it or something like that. That new trailer for Zelda looked amazing. Like,
the music was so good.
Showing like a lot of
Ooh, important. Let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Showing a lot of new characters, like there's Goron in there. Zelda's very emotional in that video.
I can't tell if that's Zelda because it shows. I think there's two different girls in that. I don't think that's just Zelda.
Oh, I think the one in the blue is Zelda with the blonde hair. You think it's Linkle? No, I don't think it's Linkle.
No, I don't think it's Linkle. But I don't think Zelda and her are the same. Or they might be, but Zelda was shown in a dress at one point too.
Oh.
Yeah, where she could wear multiple outfits, but
she can. she has in previous games. Yeah.
But I did think one thing worth noting was that the old man's talking to you and he says, the old man from that we recognize from the gameplay.
Yeah, he's going to tell you.
Rescue my daughter. Yeah. So he is the King of Hyrule, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he does say rescue my daughter. And he also says like,
so is that the King of Red Lions?
I don't know.
Like the theory was?
I don't know.
Because I swear when I was watching that trailer, I saw like things that looked like they would be islands later. Like,
well, yeah. Well, he also says in the trailer, he says that I will tell you about what happened 100 years ago. So, yeah, I
think this is pre-Wind Waker, though.
No, I think this is post-Wind Waker.
I think it's post-Wind Waker.
Maybe. That's what I was thinking. I mean, it kind of felt like Wind Waker from the trailers. But from the demo stuff from E3. But this new trailer showed like a lot of different areas, like looks very populated, showed like, towns, snow parts, like all these cool looking shit in there. There's like a dragon looking thing moving around,
Definitely seen Zora. We saw Zora's. We saw,
there's a Goron. There looked like some,
Gerudos. They're in there.
Yeah, it looked like maybe the Sheiks, or no, what do they call them?
Yeah, the Gerudos.
No, you know what I'm talking about?
The 7 sages?
Yeah, there's sages in this, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like sage, there's like as they're going through the different people, they look like sages. There's a guy with a shark for a head. There's that.
Yeah, I think that's
that bird guy that you saw earlier that was doing the song in the other. Yeah, he's in there. There's like some big girl that looks like a sage. But yeah,
they show a fairy, like one of the fairy people, the fountain fairy.
Yeah,
great fairy. There we go.
Yeah. Oh,
she's in there.
Yeah. So yeah, that showed a lot of cool stuff. Like, looks really good. Nice to know that it's not delayed. Like, there are all these rumors about it getting delayed. Thankfully, it's not delayed. It's gonna come out on the 3rd. We were a little late on that. I was guessing, we were guessing March 10th, but it's March 3rd. So they're,
March, 1 week.
I thought it was gonna be later, actually. I thought they'd shoot for maybe the end of March or something. But no, they seem to be on schedule. They want to be like right that first couple days of March, right there at the beginning. So,
which means less than 2 months.
Yeah, less than 2 months away. And since you already paid for it, you don't have to save for it. We got to save for all those extra accessories.
7 weeks.
Yeah, you were telling me, aren't there some prices up for the accessories now? Like, what is it going to cost to get like a couple Joy-Cons or a?
All right, so you can buy the left or the right Joy-Con individually. That's going to run you $50.
Yeah, individually.
Right. If you get the pair, it's $80.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I believe if you want to buy more docks, they're like $80.
A Pro is probably like $60, right? The Pro controller.
Yep. The Pro controller is $60.
So there was no Smash Brothers thing in here. Like, everybody kept thinking that there'd be a Smash Brothers on this at launch, but no Smash Brothers video shown. Which that was just a rumor leak thing. But that's something I thought I might see in there, some sort of Smash Brothers thing.
Same here, man. They didn't even mention Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Do you think the reason I thought of that is I was like, do you think that they'll let you go backwards compatible with old controllers like the Wii U did? I'm thinking probably not, but I really wish they would.
I think it's a new wireless protocol that they're using.
Yeah.
That won't function with the old controllers.
Sounds like an excuse to get more money to me. Some new one.
This thing references the Wii a lot in its design and everything about it, but they don't really seem to care about the Wii U. I think the Wii U is just going to be a footnote.
Well, I mean, it's the Wii U in that it's portable, like as in that you can not play it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is the Wii U, and it's
it's called the console now. So the thing with the screen on it, they're calling the Switch console, which it is.
Yeah. But
that's just so strange because, like, with the Wii U, it's like, the gamepad was the gimmicky feature. That wasn't the Wii U. That was the gamepad.
Yeah.
Now the thing with the screen you hold is the console. They're calling it the console.
Yeah. It's basically doing what you wished you could have done with Wii U. It's like take the gamepad and go farther than like 5 feet away and still use it. So even though I think it worked a little bit farther than that, maybe like 10 feet, but yeah, it's very much a mixture. It's really weird that they're going back to, it's very strange that they're going back to motion control again. Cause I feel like they started it, like everybody was like super into it, but like the hardcore gamers like didn't really like it, the whole motion control and all that. So they're like, okay, we're gonna get hardcore, we're going back to like, regular controller, it's an HD system and all that. But that was like not underpowered, so they didn't really like that much. They're like, okay, we're gonna go back to those motion controllers, but they're HD motion now. It's just kind of a weird step, right?
Mention that? I don't think we did.
The HD mention
about the whole thing about you can feel like you have ice cubes in your glass.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. The new HD Rumble where you can tell how many ice cubes are in your glass while you're shaking it. But don't you think it's weird that they're like going back to motion control like so majorly, I mean, I guess they're giving you options because you can snap it into a controller and you don't have to buy the controller separately and all that. But
I think it's less about going back to it and more about forgetting about the Wii U and the whole gimmick of that being like the pad and people getting so confused about it and therefore so few games using motion control.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're just like getting back on that path that was working for them with the Wii.
No, they're basically going back to the Wii, is what I'm saying. They're going back to that by bringing back motion controls. But people in the hardcore like gamers like hated motion controls though. And that's what I'm saying. I just find it weird that they're returning to that. Cause nobody's like, man, I really wish I could like waggle in this game. It's really cool, but man, I wish I could wrap my arms around again. But that's what we're gonna get for, I guess, just for like 1-2 switch.
Maybe.
And arms, but it's just, I don't know, it seems like a weird move.
Ooh, good point about arms. Yeah, that is a motion control game.
Well, arms is like, the boxing game. The boxing game that didn't work on Wii Sports. It's that again, but it's supposed to be better. It's just,
we're gonna have to see how well this motion control works. And I mean,
and we're seeing some waggle here, I mean,
it's 11 years. It's 11 years younger than the motion control in the Wii. And I guess the Wii Plus came out a few years in, so. But even so, this technology is going to be a lot better. Let's hope, at least.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But also, I hope for motion control to be more of a flourish in the big games and not, something you need to use. Like in Zelda, using it to aim or whatever, to aim your bow and arrow or your slingshot or whatever. That works really well. And that worked really well in both the Wind Waker remake and the Twilight Princess remake on the Wii U. You use the gamepad as a controller, but you weren't like staring at the screen while you were doing it. It just had an intuitive kind of like motion thing that I think did improve the experience. So as long as that's the motion control we're seeing in these games, then I'm fine with it. And as far as the party games and stuff go, they want them to be accessible to everybody. So that I say bring back the motion controls.
Yeah. Well, I guess they never really left it with Wii U because all of the Mario Party games still use motion control. You just had to have the Wii remotes to play them. Yep. So this kind of just fixes that problem instead of like, hey, you have to rebuy these controllers. This has, these are new Wii controllers that can serve as an actual controller as well, as a traditional controller. I really don't like the red and blue ones. I hope that I don't end up with that version of the Switch.
I think that might have been the one I ordered too.
I mean, I don't know. It didn't really say. But that one looks so ugly. I just want the puppy dog one, the gray and dark gray. I'm fine with using that one.
Now it didn't say. I wasn't 100% sure if it included the puppy dogs thing.
Oh, it does.
Okay, it's just a plastic thing that they attach to, right?
Which is really tiny, by the way. It's about the size of like a large Game Boy Advance SP closed. The dog thing that it attaches to. Did you see how small it is?
No.
It's like about the size of your palm. That's what it looked like. It's like a square here.
Okay.
Like this. It's what it looked like when they were holding it. It looked really small.
And then there's an accessory you can buy that has a battery in it that will charge the Joy-Cons while you're using it. That's a different thing.
I didn't see that, but that was probably on the website. Like I said, all I really saw was what was in the presentation. But it's the USB-C on the bottom of it, like people were saying.
Oh, right.
It is for that.
Also, the control stick.
A control stick has a button on it. Yeah. You can click it in. Also, it said, like 3 to 6 hours, depending on the game. What they were saying, like portable times.
Yeah.
Like 2 to 6, something like that. I think only like 3 if it's Zelda.
So
but
it's
that's
probably going to be similar to the Wii U gamepad. Like, what did that have, about 2 hours to charge it?
Yeah, I feel like the Wii U, like 3 hours if you're lucky. But I'm sure they'll make some sort of like battery pack that you can use with it, especially that it has a USB plug and not like a proprietary plug.
Well, they did say in the presentation that it was compatible, like you could use battery packs through the USB.
Yeah, they said it's a USB-C plug.
So you could buy any battery pack that can plug into USB-C.
Yeah.
And charge it.
Yeah, for sure. So we
got
that.
Nice. They didn't say anything about storage, did they?
Yeah, no storage. They didn't mention how much memory it would have on it. Didn't mention anything about memory options.
They actually didn't even show the games.
No cartridges. Yeah, they didn't show any cartridges at all. So they didn't show how you would buy it, how you put it in there, and all that, which is interesting. They completely skipped that. Yeah, it's so weird about we mentioned they showed the touchscreen, but they didn't say anything about the touchscreen. It's like, it has one. The end.
But what do you do with it? Because obviously you can't use the screen while you're playing the Switch through the dock.
Yeah, unless when you're using it portable, but they want it to work through both ways, like through the TV and through the regular thing. So I think it looks okay. I think the price is a little too high, $299. I think it's too high, but we'll see. Wish it would have been $250. But I guess you get the dog ears and all that stuff in there.
I saw someone's comment. I don't know. I was on a YouTube thread or something where they were saying like, well, the reason why the accessories are so expensive is because they just want you to buy a second Switch for multiplayer.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're going to drop like, $180 on getting everything to do like a multiplayer sort of thing, you might as well just spend the extra $100 and get another Switch, and then you have 4 controllers essentially. Because you do get 2 controllers.
Sure. Speaking of multiplayer, they said that you can use 8 Switches locally to play against each other, which is pretty rad. So I completely forgot about that until now. I didn't even make a note about it. Yeah, you can use 8 Switches to play locally, which is pretty rad.
So you can have a Switch LAN party, but yeah, it didn't say anything about the internet connection. Is it just wireless? Can you plug it into broadband?
Yeah, nothing about a possible Ethernet. I mean, there should be, right?
Or can you connect it to 4G or whatever?
Yeah, nothing about that. Maybe that's part of the internet thing.
Maybe we'll find more in the Treehouse about all the internet shit.
Maybe, but maybe not. Or maybe I'm sure they have a Nintendo Direct in the future where they're going to get into some more of that.
There's not a whole lot more time.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of like here's the price, here's this. They might do a whole Nintendo Direct just about their online service,
Maybe.
I know there's in the month between this and the launch.
I think this is our last presentation before it's released. That's how I feel.
Oh, they might. Well, this is a big presentation, but they could do a direct video in February just explaining how the internet works, or they might do it after it launches. Since you're saying that they're not going to charge until later.
Today's presentation was to sell pre-orders. I mean, it was for a lot of other reasons, but they'll know how many pre-orders they have, and they have if all the pre-orders are sold out, there's no reason to do another presentation before it's released, I would think.
Sure.
I mean, we've already paid for the fucking thing, so it's going to work however it works. Like, we bought it already.
Sure. You may be right on that. So they'll probably do a presentation later on the internet once they, closer to when they're going to start.
Especially since they're talking about it being very limited until the fall, when they'll start charging for it.
They'll do a presentation in the fall, I'm sure, about what's on there. So, yeah, maybe there'll just be a trickle out of more news about memory and shit like that. Yeah, hopefully towards the end. But yeah, I mean, I was sold on it no matter what. Jess ended up putting it on her credit card.
That's what I did too. I credit carded it.
So we have it. Hopefully, if it comes through. So I was sold on it anyway. But I still kind of want to see a lot more. The presentation was cool. I mean, I love the Mario and XenoBlade stuff, but I was still kind of wishing for some third party support, which I'm not really convinced on. Which is they keep trying to do. So, but then again, it may just, if it sells a lot, they'll get the support regardless. If there's an install base. So, we'll just have to see.
What game was that ran on the Unity? They made a big deal about it running on the Unity engine. Was that the Fire Emblem game?
Oh, I don't know.
That's just there's all these different pre-made engines that people can use to convert games. So I don't know how well that works for the big third-party things, but let's just hope that we're going to see a lot of ports. Hopefully not old-ass ports. But Skyrim's confirmed. I mean, they didn't say if it was the new version or if it was the original.
I don't think it's the new version. I think they would have said that it's the new version. But it seems to be working, so that's good. Because the old version didn't work very well on consoles, from what I heard. So,
it was pretty buggy. It was buggy, but there were updates and stuff that fixed it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the whole game in itself is buggy, but yeah,
all but those two games so far.
I heard that there's some Breath of the Wild bundles. Have you seen anything about that?
Well, they're not like bundles. Like as far as I can tell, you can't get a Switch bundle, which would be awesome. I would have tried to order that.
Oh yeah,
that's not out the gate. But there are special editions of Breath of the Wild, and I think the special editions are only for the Switch, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
There's like a deluxe, I may not be using the proper nomenclature here, but there's like a deluxe edition, which is like $90, and then there's like the master edition, which is $130 fucking dollars. The master edition has a replica of the Master Sword, as we did see that in the trailer. There's a Master Sword, and then there's like a coin, and there's a map, and there's a CD, a soundtrack CD, all that stuff. And then the second tier one just doesn't have the Master Sword replica, but it still has like the other shit, like the coin and the map.
Jeez. They're going all out with that. So there's like a special edition that's like $100-some. It's just like the game and the sword and like all the other shit.
It's no hardware for the game. It doesn't have like special Joy-Cons or something.
No, yeah.
Which would be so fucking sweet, but it's not.
No.
That's not it. It's just little collector statue thingies.
Oh, sure. No, I've seen it. They release them for like PS. Well, I feel like there were more PS3 ones than PS4 ones, but yeah, they have that where I never really saw the point in getting it.
Halo, I remember. And like Halo, you could get like pay a shit ton of money and get like a fake helmet.
Yeah, they did that with Batman too. You get like the Batman statue. Where's Batman Arkham Knight Switch edition? I thought that was a shoe-in for sure, since they did it last time with the Wii U, but maybe it's not powerful enough. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, I can't really think of much else we could really say about the Switch. Is there anything that we missed or anything you want to talk about before we head out on this episode? So we didn't really do an intro on this one, but the news is our topic. So I don't feel like we really need a before and after.
I feel like we could keep talking about a lot of these things, but as far as I can tell, we didn't really talk a lot about Bomberman, but as far as I can tell, it's just Bomberman.
Yeah, Bomberman's Bomberman. It's nice to know that Konami's not completely dead, right? They're still making some games, because most people think that all they do is make Metal Gear Solid pachinko machines, but no, they made a Switch game.
And I didn't mention it, but I did want to say that Mario, when he's talking to the people, or when he's hanging out by the people in Mario Odyssey, reminds me of Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, for sure. I just hope they have a song as brilliant as Escape from the City.
But we may have more to talk about next time we record based on what happens in the treehouse tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
For now, I think, I'm really happy we've both managed to secure a pre-order.
Yeah.
This is going to be the NIntenDomain's going to switch over to Switch domain.
Yeah. Well, it's still...
Because it started with the Wii U, and we won't be talking about the Wii U anymore in a couple of months.
But there's still a little system called the 3DS that's still going. Speaking of which, as a preview till next week, what comes out next week? Or, this next Friday. Dragon Quest VIII. I already reserved it at GameStop. I get my Dragon Quest pouch with it, I guess, when it comes out. So I'll be playing that game, and I'll definitely give you some impressions of that game. Cool. Which I'm excited to do that, because that was a big game on PlayStation 2. That was the first, big, full 3D Dragon Quest game, has voice acting, all that stuff in there. I'm excited to play it and talk about it on here, so we'll definitely talk about that in the next episode. I've been trying very hard to get through Dragon Quest VII before that, which I don't think I can, because I'm only 50 hours. And it's a 100-hour game. But I'm still progressing on it. I'm still getting through one thing to another. But I'm not seeing an end in sight anywhere. But I'm still having fun with it, so still playing that game. You can follow us on Twitter, Ninten_domain at Twitter, I think. You can follow us on Facebook, Facebook/NintenDomain, NintenDomainPodcast.com. You can email us, NintenDomain.podcast@gmail.com. Or you can watch a video of me reacting to the show on YouTube/Fingmater, which I said earlier. And if you happen to record one, or you have one recorded, I'll put it on there as well. You have one of you doing reactions.
I might have to do a post reaction.
Yeah, but still, it'd be good, I'm sure. Yeah, download us on iTunes, rate us, all that fun stuff. You can download us on whatever other app podcast apps.
Google Play.
Google Play, Stitcher, whatever else they're called. We've been your hosts. This is your episode 52. Us telling you how we felt about the fucking Switch presentation. We've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jeremy Mikowski.
And we will see you next week with some more Switch stuff, some Dragon Quest stuff.
We're gonna have more fucking Switch stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Sure. So don't switch to a different podcast. Keep listening to us.
Please do.
Later.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.